Hello everyone and Happy New Year. I want to talk to you about something I have called New Year Neo You. There isn't a spelling mistake there, it's intentional. This is something I was going to launch actually a year ago at the beginning of 2020, and I decided for some reason it wasn't the right time, and for some reason I think this is the right time. I think a lot of people are asking much bigger questions about what's happening right now, and that's why I think now's a really good time to launch this. Now, some of you have seen the movie The Matrix, and a lot of people find health not that interesting, and I get it. If you're working, all the hours of the day, who has time to spend on understanding health and reversing illness and that kind of stuff? But it is my passion, and that's what I want to bring to you about how to reverse illness, reverse dis-ease, getting to the cause, that kind of stuff, which I've been doing now for about 6 years. So just quickly circling back to the idea that people are asking much bigger questions now. I belong to this men's entrepreneurial group that I attend every Saturday, and there was a survey about a month ago, and the question was, who still trusts the mainstream media? And about 63 or 67% of people said they no longer trust the mainstream media. And I thought that was really quite an awesome thing to hear, because I'm going to let you into a little secret. About 8 years ago, I made a conscious decision to stop paying attention to the mainstream media. I can't say I stopped it completely, but I stopped paying attention to it because something wasn't really adding up. And since then, I've discovered some incredible truths about the power of the human body. Just what we're capable of is beyond imaginable. We can heal just about anything. I've discovered that there's no such thing as an incurable illness or a genetic illness. Genes play the tiniest fraction of a role in the development of illness and dis-ease. I've discovered that we can heal the body through thought, through emotion, by changing our energy and by changing our frequency. If any of you have been following the likes of Dr. Joe Dispenza, I don't know if that's reflected the right way, but he's been documenting for the last 7 or 8 years how people are reversing all kinds of, incurable illnesses through meditation and through thought, like multiple brain tumors going in the space of a week, handicapped people walking again, deaf people hearing again, blind people seeing again. It's phenomenal what the human body is capable of. And I'm of the understanding now that we don't get to understand this until we remove ourselves from the exposure of the mainstream. And that is what I want to talk to you about today. So there is a scene in the movie The Matrix, which I rewatched it about 1.5 years ago, and there was a scene in it, I think most of you will be able to resonate or relate to this, where Morpheus is with Neo, and Morpheus says to Neo, "Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you can feel it. Like there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. It's like a splinter in your mind driving you mad." And then he says, "Do you want to know what it is?" And then Neo says, "The Matrix." So I watched this and I virtually jumped out of my seat. I was like, this is how I felt my whole life. I actually jumped out of my seat, went to the computer, rewound, or not rewound, there's not a cassette in there. I replayed that scene again and again and again. And I even recreated the scene about 1.5 years ago and deleted it because it looked ridiculous. I was trying to act. And I realized that there's something much bigger going on in the world. And I had my first glimpse into this, let's say glimpse into like what I'm going to refer to as the Matrix, when I was about 15 years old. And many of you know my story. I reversed my eczema after 30 years of suffering from it, always given the same treatments, which meant it always came back. And there was a time when I was 15 years old and I was in my doctor's surgery, or office as you say in America. And I remember this like it was yesterday. So I had this incredible, horrible eczema flare-up. I was covered in spots all over my body. My doctor examines me, he looks at me, and then he sits back down at his desk. And I'm sat here, he's sat there. He looks at his computer screen and looks at me. He says, "Are you allergic to penicillin?" And I say, "What's that?" He said, "It's antibiotics." I said, "I don't think so." Tapping away on his computer, goes back to his computer. "Would you like some more Betnovate?" That's the steroid cream that I've been prescribed, or was prescribed again and again and again. I said, "Sure, thank you." Kind of reluctantly. And then I look back at him, he's looking at the computer screen, back at me, computer screen, back at me. He says, would you like some more Diprobase? That's this moisturiser, prescription moisturiser, which causes a lot of harm, which I later found out many years later. And I say, sure, yes, please, thanks. And I sit there feeling perplexed. I was like, what's going on here? 15 years old. Why am I always given the same treatments? This doesn't add up. I feel like he's just comparing my illness with a drug name. And I leave the office with my prescription. I walk up the road to the pharmacy and I'm going, what on earth is happening? Why am I always prescribed the same medications? So I think this planted the seed of what was going to happen 25 years later when I find myself in the health and wellness industry completely by surprise. This was never in my vision. I thought I was going to be working in property and be a property developer. That was my dream back when I was 20. But in my early 30s, I found myself in the health and wellness industry, and I discovered the underlying cause of almost every illness. So many of you know my main focus has been chronic inflammation and getting to the cause. I was able to get rid of my own eczema, which I'd suffered from for about 30 odd years, after I was always given the same treatments, which meant it would always come back. And in my early 30s, I got rid of it very quickly by changing what I was eating, basically my lifestyle choices ultimately. And then since 2015, I've been helping people reverse all kinds of illnesses without a single medical qualification, reading lots of books, things that just make sense to me and feel good. So I've been able to help people reverse not just eczema, but other things like acne, rosacea, psoriasis, type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, arthritis, gout, fibromyalgia, lots of different things, low testosterone. And all of these things, sometimes people are told they're incurable or genetic. And I've come to understand that the body can heal just about anything. And in order for us to do that, we have to actually turn ourselves away from the mainstream way of doing things. I've become so fascinated and obsessed with the body's ability to heal just about anything that I keep on somehow attracting people who reverse incurable illnesses. So I started a podcast a few years ago in which I interview people who reverse incurable illnesses according to Western medicine. Conditions like multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, osteoporosis, endometriosis, cancer, all kinds of illnesses which we are told are incurable. So what I've also discovered is when we are told something is incurable, what they mean is there's a certain method of learning, which includes drugs and surgery. What they mean is that method of learning will not heal the body or will not cure this. So it's not really being fair to all of the other modalities of healing, which are really true healing. And that is how people heal their bodies of just about anything. So coming back to the movie The Matrix, Morpheus says to Neo, you have a choice. You can take the blue pill, where you can go back into life, this whole scene is erased, the memory's gone, and you can go back into how things were. And it's a very predictable future. It's all kind of set up for you. Or you can take the red pill, and you can go on a journey into Alice in Wonderland, and you can find out the truth. You're not going to like the truth. I don't know the whole lines, of course, I haven't memorized the whole scene. But ultimately, it's the idea of going on a journey into Alice in Wonderland and finding out some truths to really have a much better life and, yeah, discover some incredible things. So I like the idea of when I work with people, normally over 8 to 12 weeks, I take people on this journey into Alice in Wonderland where you take the red pill and you start to find out what might be causing the body to go out of balance. And instead of just kind of taking a drug, you just go, okay, I've got a symptom. Because I've discovered that there's no such thing as an illness. There's a symptom of an underlying cause. That's what an illness is. It's a symptom. It's a chronic symptom of an underlying cause which happens chronically. So we go on a bit of a journey. We address the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual or energetic pillars of vitality. And then we find out how to heal the body. We look at the body electric. We look at the underlying cause. We look at energy, releasing trapped emotions and trauma, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be talking more. I've got like a 5-day series coming up this week. Tomorrow is going to be talking about the underlying cause of almost every illness, every chronic illness. I can't make a claim for everything. And day 3 is going to be called When Modern Medicine Became a Business. You'll be fascinated to hear about this and the role of the mainstream media since 1910. So for 110 years, imagine the mainstream media playing its part in why we think certain things. Day 4 is going to be about the 4-pillar approach to reversing any illness and really raising your energy, raising your frequency to live a life rich in vitality. And the 5th day is really about escaping the matrix. So look out for that. Thank you for watching, and look out for the video tomorrow. By the way, private message me if you would like any support with this now, or if you know of anyone who's suffering unnecessarily from an incurable illness. I might be able to help, or direct them in the right direction at least. I can't help everyone, of course. So let me know. Thank you for watching, and Happy New Year.